Merhaba yaverler. Total War Three Kingdoms'ın diplomasi sistemi hakkında bilgi veren bir video yayınlandı. Bu videoyu birazdan izleyeceksiniz. Ama önce bir duyuru yapmak istiyorum. Yakın bir vakitte daha önce yaptığım gibi açığa çıkan yeni bilgileri, yeni detayları incelediğim ayrı bir video yayınlayacağım. Onu bekleyin. Evet, duyurumu da yaptım. Şimdi orijinal videoya geçebiliriz.
Our aim this time around is to revolutionize diplomacy, enabling players to influence, befriend, coerce, and extort other factions in deeper and more powerful ways. The Three Kingdoms period of Chinese history is an age of personalities, and each faction is defined by the personality of the warlord who leads it. Indeed, if you have an existing diplomatic treaty with a warlord and he dies, handing the reins to his heir, who perhaps doesn't like you quite as much as his father, your diplomatic relationship with them can change significantly. Here we're in the early stages of a campaign playing as Liu Biao. A governor and gentleman of the Han Dynasty, he begins the campaign with the province capital of Xiangyang under his control. Not a significant territorial holding by anyone's standards, and with no farms of his own, food income, which is crucial to public order and military provisioning, will soon become an issue. Plus, he's in the cauldron of potential crises that is the centre of the campaign map. However, looking south, we can see that Liu Biao also begins with two vassals under his charge, Cai Mao and Huang Shu. And in Total War Three Kingdoms, vassals are no longer simple sources of income and support. Cai Mao owns a livestock farm, and as food is now a tradable resource, let's try and make him our campaign breadbasket. Looks like he's got up to 6 units of food he can potentially provide us with, so let's make the request. You can now haggle in diplomacy, adding, removing or modifying offers until you can find a deal that the other guy is happy with. Asking Cai Mao for 6 food produces a negative figure here, indicating his unwillingness with the deal on the table, so we have to find something that he values enough in return to sweeten the deal. The quick way to find out his price is to click the Make This Work button. In this case, he's demanding quite a hefty sum, which is sort of understandable, given he's got something of a monopoly on food in the area. But it's quite a sum to sign up to this early in the campaign, so let's try and find something else that might satisfy him. Elsewhere, you can see that there's quite a raft of new treaties, deals and options available. Anything that's impossible to offer or demand in the current negotiation is greyed out, and certain options won't become available until your faction rank advances. Under diplomatic treaties, we have several offers available. Let's be the good guy and offer Cai Mao a guarantee of autonomy. Now, this is a promise that we'll never annex his faction into our own, but this is not something to take lightly. If we were to later break that promise, it would be viewed as an act of treachery and would negatively affect our reputation with all factions. As we can see, it's something he quite likes, but 6 food still outweighs it in his own mind. So let's drop the asking price to 5, and yes, he's willing to agree to that. We propose the deal, and the food will be ours next turn. This method of haggling can be used in all your negotiations as you massage the deal to find something that works for both of you. As you can see, there's a lot of new tools to play with. Let's take a quick look at a couple more. If you're short on cash, you can request it from another faction, and perhaps offer to pay it back each turn in installments to make the loan more palatable. If you've gained a reputation for treachery, of course, characters will be less inclined to trust you in such matters. However, a loan can really make the difference when you need a quick cash injection. You can also offer to support the independence of another vassal state as it attempts to shake off the yoke of its parent faction. This is basically an offer to support them if they go to war with their owners. It's a great way of weakening a powerful faction by appealing to the underdog to rise up. And if they choose to do so, you'll automatically join them in their war. However, if you then make peace with the parent faction, this will again be viewed as a treacherous act. You can now use the threat of war as a negotiating tactic, though you must be prepared for the consequences. Perhaps you're on a war footing and running at a budget deficit in order to maintain your armed forces. So you request a regular payment from another faction, and they are disinclined to lend. You then threaten to go to war with them if they don't comply. Now at this point, the faction compares your military strength to its own, and weighs up a host of other factors, such as the number of wars it's already engaged in, which of you has the best and strongest allies, and your treachery rating, for example. It then decides whether the cost of that war outweighs the regular payments. And crucially, unlike peaceful negotiations, when you saber-rattle the AI like this, you won't see the usual evaluation figures, making it a much riskier gambit. If they decide to call your bluff and reject your proposal, war is declared. Time to put your money where your mouth is. Certain core diplomacy functions can also be approached using the new Quick Deal menu, and this is a nice quality of life improvement. If we select non-aggression pacts, for example, we can see all the known factions who are capable of entering into such an agreement with us, colour-coded by who definitely will, who might, and who definitely won't. You can swiftly set up a host of agreements via the Quick Deal menu, and you can still haggle in order to fine-tune deals with those maybes. Okay, we'll leave Liu Biao to carve out his fledgling empire for now, but in short, diplomacy in Total War has changed enormously. With so many more levers to pull, chips to barter, and with a superfine level of control, a dedicated diplomat can engineer situations which were simply not possible before. Stay tuned for part 2, in which we'll explore the new forms of alliance you can forge, the reintroduction of an old fan favourite feature, region trading, and much more besides.